Creativity is a quality of strange irony. We can all provide examples of creativity, yet creativity in many ways defies definition. Creativity is frequently seen as one-dimensional and as the province of artists. It's easy to assume that creativity is the fruit of what we call talent and generally exists in only one area at a time. This program will examine the creativity of one man, Mexican artist Rodolfo Morales. Through this man, we will find that creativity goes beyond a single dimension. During the 1990s, Rodolfo Morales became one of Mexico's best-known living artists. He lives about 20 miles from the beautiful colonial capital city of Oaxaca in the small village of Ocotlan. When Morales met art dealer and lawyer Nancy Maya Goitia, things began to happen.
We're talking about a man that was born in 1925. He's not that young anymore, and sometimes he does feel anguish that he's not going to live another 30 years. And he wants to do as much as possible within the time frame of his life that he has. And this was back in 1991. He started using texturizers. And you see all these blobs of texture on the surface. And he's using the texture differently. He's applying it on the white linen before knowing what he's going to paint. So that's why this texture has nothing to do with, the part of that hand there, or this thick part of paint here. It's part of two different images. He just likes the way that light bounces off a painting when it has different textures like that. It's just chaotic. It's the way he likes it. I think a good Morales painting has to have architecture, has to have definitely women, has to have dogs. I mean, if they have dogs, it's better. And we have a couple of tiny little dogs there, but the hands, the women, and the architecture, I think, are the main elements for Morales painting, and I think everything you've seen has those three things for sure.
Nancy Mayagoitia started Arte de Oaxaca. And she started the gallery because she found out that there were many artists here in Oaxaca, young artists, that didn't have a place to show. She came from Mexico City, she's from Mexico City, came here and started Arte de Oaxaca with this philosophy of helping the artists. At first, it didn't start quite as a business thing, but in passing some months, the things they were very well, and people were coming into the gallery and buying art, so it became a business thing, and it was good for Nancy, it was good for the artists, and it was great for Oaxaca. Nancy is very altruistic. She really cares about society. She believed in Rodolfo Morales' ideas, and Rodolfo Morales was friend of Nancy. That was the perfect combination for the foundation to start. So Nancy made everything to make the foundation happen. So it was two minds that became together. So that's how the foundation began. So, and the relationship of the Arte de Oaxaca and Rodolfo Morales Foundation.
The only thing he wanted was this big house in Ocotlan, and he was able to get that 15 or 20 years before 1987 through a mortgage that he had been paying little by little, and that's all he wanted. So now he's finding himself with extra cash.
So say, I have all this money and my dream is to give it to the people of Oaxaca and bring to them here, especially in Ocotlan, it's a little village, a poor village, and bring to them what I've seen in Mexico City, all these beautiful things that I have seen, culturally speaking. And Nancy said, what you want to do is a foundation.
I wasn't used to having money, so I thought I must restore things that I love. We began with monuments from the 16th century.
Money just kept flowing in from his own sales. He lives on a very small budget. He owns his home. He never buys any clothes. He buys a pair of shoes probably every 2 years because he buys those mountain hiking boots that last forever. He owns 2 or 3 pairs of jeans, and they're all full of paint, and doesn't care to change them. His expenses are minor. So he could put all the money from the sales of his paintings into this project.
While Maestro Morales had more money than he personally needed, in the beginning there wasn't always enough for everything he wanted to accomplish in the community.
We decided we were going to buy 5 computers, and we didn't have the money for it. So I spoke to a collector in Mexico City and asked him if we could trade computers for art, and we did. We traded the computers for the art, and they came and they were put in the middle of the room where all the books were around. And we scored the first programs that we could find in Spanish, because of course most of the multimedia, or well, prior multimedia existed, was in English. So we found a foundation in Mexico City with programs in Spanish, and we bought those and we installed them, and suddenly all the kids started to come. They were not touching the books that much yet, but the house suddenly had all these kids' noises, and it was visited, and they were close to the books, and they were learning. So that project started to grow, and by then we realized we had to get a little more serious if we were going to keep doing things. We decided we needed a foundation, and we started using the foundation name without really having the paperwork done. And sometimes people would come and ask for support for some project, and we'd tell them we would talk to the board, and no board existed. It was us on Thursdays having coffee. But we would get back to them next week, and we would discuss it privately and decide whether they could be helped or not. So the foundation existed in our minds, and it was working.
Situated in a highland valley, Oaxaca City enjoys a temperate climate despite its tropical latitude. Located where Mexico narrows toward Central America, Oaxaca State stretches from the Atlantic to the Pacific. As editorial page director of Noticias, Oaxaca State's leading newspaper, Ishmael Hernandez has observed with interest as Rodolfo Morales uses his success as a painter to enable the people of his community.
Rodolfo Morales
dedicates himself to creating numerous paintings simultaneously in his home studio. In addition, he devotes time and significant resources to the restoration of colonial buildings. He also funds projects like the purchase of musical instruments for school children in the region. He makes the time to meet with and fund area ecologists in the restoration of native vegetation in our region. He provides for the maintenance and support of colonial sectors in our city, encouraging the government to become involved in preserving these sectors.
A stunning city of colonial buildings, fountains, and courtyards, Oaxaca is often said to be the pearl of Mexico.
This is the ball court at Monte Alban, southeast of the North Platform. The sides here, some people have looked at and thought they were seats for spectators to sit and watch the ball game, but these sides were actually probably plastered over, smooth plaster.
A regular visitor to Oaxaca, anthropologist Dr. Jeff Blick sees that artistic creativity can lead to innovative social advancements.
game. And
throughout the course of Mesoamerican history, there have been times when technological advances and creativity have marched hand in hand. For example, in the formative period, there were advances in pottery technology, advances in village life. There were also later advances in mathematics and astronomy and hieroglyphic writing and so forth. And I think that what the Rodolfo Morales Foundation is doing by expanding upon its artistic creativity and moving into other areas such as the reforestation program, I think that is a wonderful kind of synergy that most people don't usually consider artistic creativity as leading toward social promotion, social advancement, and work towards improving the environment.
His first exhibition, his first solo show ever, was when he was 50 years old. He never showed, he was painting only for himself. He never, just for his friends was show his paintings, but never went into even a collective show. He never sold a painting before. So that's what I think it was very special about Rodolfo. And this situation, it was another situation, but this situation helped him and his creativity to be original, to stay original, to be true, and not to be influenced by the money or by the applause or by the art critics.
Y todo el mundo iba tras del premio, el reconocimiento.
Everyone in art school was seeking awards, but I never thought I would be recognized as a painter. I didn't think I was as skillful in drawing as my classmates.
Abelardo Lopez, whose work captures the feeling of the Oaxacan countryside, is one of many artists who have flourished because of their association with the Morales Foundation and Arte de Oaxaca.
Sí, es desde la fundación de la galería.
Since the opening of the gallery, of the Arte de Oaxaca gallery, it has been very important for many painters, including myself. It has been a great support.
Fue un apoyo muy importante. Yo no podía vivir de mi trabajo.
I couldn't live before just from my paintings. I had to supplement my income by teaching or with other work for extra money. It was not possible to survive just by selling my own work.
Channel 9 Television in Oaxaca is a publicly owned station that produces Cultural Encounters, a weekly program about the arts. Host Rodrigo Vargas recognizes the uniqueness of Rodolfo Morales' work.
La creatividad de Rodolfo Morales me parece que
The creativity of Rodolfo Morales, I think, is very interesting. Although some critics comment that he has a lot in common with Marc Chagall, I don't think Rodolfo Morales is Marc Chagall. He is Rodolfo Morales. He paints in a world of Mardi Gras-ism, where color, landscape, nature, characters, and towns are very Mexican and very Oaxacan. Because of this, his work is unique and Mexican.
es única, es muy nuestra.
My instructors always wanted me to copy other artists, but I was not meant for that. Picasso and Matisse taught me not to be afraid of what I was doing. As a result, I don't pay attention to what people say. I do what I feel I must.
Oaxaca is a city of traditions and festivals. Each summer, the Gala Getza draws musicians and dancers to the city from all over Mexico. In a colonial building restored by the Rodolfo Morales Foundation, located close beside Santo Domingo Cathedral, Maestro Morales keeps a small studio so he can continue painting during his frequent trips to Oaxaca City. It is here that Morales meets with Foundation Treasurer Esteban San Juan to review progress on the Foundation's many projects and to approve new work. San Juan also serves as an advisor on restoration projects to Maestro Morales and sees the Foundation as having an impact far beyond Oaxaca and Ocotlan.
I believe that our foundation is a very positive influence for the people in the different small towns to learn the value of their arts and traditions, and from there to implement a sustained project to rehabilitate and restore their heritage.
An unimproved road leads to the small village of Santa Ana, located about 10 kilometers from Ocotlan. The church in Santa Ana is a current restoration project of the Rodolfo Morales Foundation. Georgette Saldana, a trained restorer of cultural antiquities, is the site supervisor of this project.
This is Santa Ana Segache. The church here is a very important place. The foundation has started restoring it 3 years ago. The layers of painting in the murals have been taken away because they were 4 different layers. So we have decided to keep this one here because it was the most complete one. Here in the entrance, which is called Sotocoro, which means underneath the quorum, which is up there, we have these angels that are pilas baptismales, which is they symbolize the baptism, and maybe we're used to baptize for the sacred water. The restorers are mainly women, and they're very young. They're 19 to 21. Usually they go to Oaxaca or to the Mexico City to find a job. So what Rodolfo Morales wants is to make people staying here, you know? to have jobs for them. The objective of this project is to have a workshop, restoration workshop, a wooden workshop, and an iron workshop. This red part, it's the preparation for the gold. It's a golden leaf that has to be placed very carefully because it's very thin, and with the contact of the least of air that it can shrink. So all the tableaus have golden leaf, and also the church, as you have seen, the decoration of the church in many places they have golden leaf. I first prepare the place where I'm gonna. Restoration is the art of making art alive again. Because we are not creating a painting, because we are not creating a sculpture, it doesn't mean that we don't use creativity. We are sensitive to it, and in order to decide anything we're gonna do, we have to use our sensibility. For a restorer, the important thing is to be sensitive to the thing you have in front. It's not the creativity is the result of the sensitivity.
It is very important that the people use their hands so that they develop their imagination. With machines, they are just repeating and repeating. If a woman sews by hand, the work will have more value than if she sews by machine.
Abelardo Lopez says he doesn't think much about creativity because he's always been surrounded by it. He notes that in Oaxaca, people grow up working with their hands, using whatever is available to express their creativity. Lopez sees creativity as springing from the environment, and in turn, art as giving people a better understanding of their environment. Rodolfo Morales agrees that the first step toward creativity is awareness of your environment.
Bueno,
I think that creativity comes from within. When you are a child, you start observing everything, and that ability remains as a personal trait. Little by little, you begin to evolve.
observar todo, ¿no? Y
Creativity to me is to express the way that you see reality. And everyone interprets reality as they see it, depending of their experience, their feelings, their motivations, different things. So I believe creativity is not to be unique, to see what it's already done and then make something else, something different, because then you're just want to be original. But I don't think creativity always is original.
Creativity for me, I think, is trying to make some sort of order out of the chaos of life, whether it's in the process of making a painting, whether it's in the process of molding a ceramic figurine, or whether it's in the process of writing a poem. I think we're all struggling to make some sort of sense out of chaos, to make some sort of order out of chaos. And to me, that is really what human creativity is all about.
Rodolfo Morales has shown creativity not only in his art, but in all spheres of his life. Although his work can command tens of thousands of dollars for a single piece, perhaps his greatest accomplishments are the innovative ways he has created to enrich the lives of the people of Mexico.
Salías del templo un día, llorona, cuando al pasar yo te vi. Salías del templo un día, llorona, cuando al pasar yo te vi. Y hermoso huipil llevabas, llorona, que la Virgen te creí. Y hermoso huipil llevabas, llorona, que la Virgen te creí. Ay de mi llorona, llorona de azul celeste.